Welcome, everyone, to Roster United. I'm your host, Ethan, and my co-host, Rick. And here today, as always, we are going to give you a Thor's Raven episode.
Thor's Raven update.
Update number 8. Now, we
gotta say it like that. Thor's Raven.
Thor's Raven.
There you go.
And the reason we have not done these last couple of days is because some personal things have come up, so sadly we did not have the time to do them. But now we are back on track. There has been a lot to talk about since the last episode, so let's get right into it. What is the money, and how many people are backing this project?
So we're at, as of 5:15 p.m. Eastern Time, and January 28th, Saturday here, we are at 12,612 backers. And so far, there has been $1,850,894 pledged. So that means
awesome.
we crossed over that latest stretch goal. Even though we haven't got the update, but maybe during the podcast here, they'll put the update out and we can give you the latest and greatest news right here on the Kickstarter.
Oh yeah, so the reason the Kickstarter has been getting a lot of money lately is because, well, they have released a couple of things. But first, let's go into the stretch goals first.
Excited about what they released.
Let's go into the stretch goals first as their main thing. So the last time we talked, believe it or not, was when U.S. Agent, the anti-hero, released. What has been releasing ever since? Well, let's take a look here. $20,000 later, we unlocked a new team deck, Gen X. Is that the new X-Men, basically?
No, Generation X. It's like a teenager deck. It's got a mix of young heroes in it, and that's what that's all about.
So basically just another team for you to play with the team decks.
Up team deck, yeah.
After that, a couple of $100,000 later, we got Lilandra, which is a hero, which will come with a miniature and 12 cards. We also have Havoc X Factor, which will also come with a 12-card deck. After that, we got Darkstar, which is an anti-hero with 12 cards, no equipment card included with her. After that, we got some new superhero and supervillain cards for you all to play when you're playing the supervillain mode.
Yes.
Obviously, this is something new since the last campaign where you can play as the villain, which has been very fun. And, well, here are some new cards to shake things up a bit for this campaign when it comes.
Yeah, absolutely. Those, I like playing that. We've gotten a chance to do that a couple times with that super villain mode.
We did.
And just having more things a villain can do. Mm-hmm. Just to mention, if you don't mind, in that same update when we unlocked the super villain cards, the team promo decks came out. So one thing that's been driving up the prices, and if I'm jumping ahead here, reel me back in, but they decided to go ahead and add as an optional buy, let everybody buy the promos, the Kickstarter stretch goals from the other two campaigns.
Yes.
So that's kind of been driving up the price. So if you missed the first two campaigns, you can go back and get all those stretch goals from those campaigns that have not been available in retail, and then they've allowed for team promo decks. So we got all these new team decks. They created decks for all those promos, for the X-Men promos and for the original Marvel United promos. So
which is awesome.
That's been pretty awesome. That was kind of exciting.
Yeah, and obviously there's going to be a lot. If you do go and add that additional buy, you can either pay $120 for any of the big boxes, or you can get it together for, how much was it? For
I believe it's like $20 off. So instead of paying $240 for them to combine, you can get them for $220.
That's awesome. A pretty good deal there, because you're going to get plus 30 characters.
You get a lot
or
of characters.
Plus 30 heroes on each box, and plus 10 villains, especially on the second season, with all the extra anti-heroes that can also be played as heroes and villains. It just gives you more variety.
Yeah, to give you the stats exactly, in the first campaign, the promo box has 35 heroes and 11 villains. Mm-hmm. And the X-Men promo box has 36 heroes, 5 anti-heroes, and 17 villains. So it's even crazier big than the other one. So if you get those combined, you're talking 70 heroes, 28 villains, and 5 anti-heroes together. That's amazing.
Yeah. I do like that. And obviously, well, with those 2 boxes, you can play the new villain mode. And if you want to, well, not want to, you're gonna get it anyway. You're gonna get some new villain cards for you all to try out. But you're also gonna get a lot more other things. For example, back to the stretch goals. After the villain cards, we have Elsa Bloodstone, which is a character that comes with 12 cards and an equipment card.
Yeah, and she's, if you saw that Monster by Night TV show that Disney did, the black and white.
Oh my God,
thing.
it's her?
It's her.
It's the Bloodstone.
Yeah, she's Elsa Bloodstone. Yeah.
What's it called? Midnight? Wolf by Midnight? Something like that.
Or something by midnight. Yeah. Anyway, I'll look it up. But yeah, that's her.
That's awesome. That's so cool because, they released a werewolf.
Oh, I don't know.
I really love that. Just a quick little side thing. I love that little, Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night is definitely what it's called. Yes.
I love that little 50-minute thing. It's so cool. The black and white it was different. But anyway, Elsa Bloodstone, that is probably the daughter, I assume, of the actual Bloodstone, probably the anti-hero, the hunter.
Yeah,
They're all hunters.
She's the daughter. Yeah.
She's the daughter. So that's pretty cool that they added that. I did not notice that.
They make that connection.
I made that connection.
Blowing your mind a little bit.
It is right now. I want to watch The Werewolf by Night again. So after Elsa Bloodstone, pretty cool. She will come with an equipment card, which... Will it be the Bloodstone? I didn't check that. Or will it actually be the sniper that she has?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Not too sure.
Great question.
Because if it's the Bloodstone, that would be pretty cool.
I don't know. It might be something we're going to deep dive into.
It's the Miradrios.
It is a stone.
Caseway.
Yeah, it's
a type of stone.
Yeah, it looks like it is.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. It moves others to another location. So that'd be very interesting to try out with her. But anyway, off track here. Going back after Bloodstone, we have Kid Loki. Very interesting.
Which in the comics was a version of Loki that was kind of reincarnated after the original Loki died. There's a whole bunch of craziness going on there.
Crazy stuff. And it'd be pretty interesting to try him out.
Yeah.
We also have Wiccan
is, if you watched the WandaVision TV show, and they have the twins...
Yeah.
One of those twins gets reincarnated in the comics. Later in the process, has to get recreated. That's one of the twins.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
We're making connections.
Making connections, baby.
Now, Wiccan?
I think it's Wiccan, isn't
Wiccan?
It? Yeah.
Okay, Wiccan. We can.
I don't know if it's that, but, anyway.
Anyway, this character was unlocked at $1,780,000.
Yes.
Now we have to jump quite a bit, because we just unlocked at $1,850,000. We just unlocked it. Is Red Hulk.
Red Hulk, baby. And we just unlocked it. They don't officially have called it unlocked, but we're seeing the money it's unlocked.
Oh, yeah.
We have not gotten the notification what the next stretch goal will be. Red Hulk is all about that rage. If you're familiar with the comic books, everybody knows General Ross is always checking out the Hulk. He's Betty Ross's father. Somewhere in the comic timeline, he becomes the Red Hulk. And he's pure rage, angry, and it's kind of cool. One of his main things is he does damage to everything.
That's right.
So civvies and thugs, he's removing pieces off the board so you can't. And of course, all the heroes are taking hits.
Yeah.
But it's also there's a Betty Ross token, and if you can move that token around and get it in the same place as Red Hawk, it negates some of his powers and stuff and lets you beat him up. It's kind of a cool little bad guy to play against there.
Yeah, and I mean, again, an anti-hero and a hero at the same time, so very interesting. To come out. He also does not have an equipment card, just to make that clear.
Well, his equipment is his rage.
Yes, that is true.
You can't put rage on a card, baby.
All right, well, that is everything for the stretch goals for now. I assume later throughout the episode we'll unlock the new stretch goal and we'll go back to it at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Just to see what
before we get into what we are both the most excited about since the last episode of these stretch goals, a little bit of the optional buys that we talked about. And there's an expansion that we're both excited about. I get that. But of these items here, what one do you really like?
Well, now that you made the connection with the Bloodstone, I am very interested in trying her out. I like that little skit thing over there, and it was just cool and different. Obviously, this character is very, very important in that little show. That I'm thinking, wait a minute, could they do a Werewolf by Night box? And right now, like we'll see later, I am pretty good at predicting what's going to come up. But I'm very excited for the Bloodstone. I'm also very excited for Red Hulk as well. Just see the differences between Hulk and Red Hulk. Obviously, we're going to have to do an episode.
We can do a Hulk team now.
We can do a Hulk team. How awesome is that?
Because you got because he's an anti-hero, so we can do regular Hulk and Red Hulk. Then what's coming up in one of the expansions.
And that's so cool for a Hero Zero as well, where we compare both of them, or compare all of them, because there are more Hulk characters.
Yes,
believe it or not. There's even but before we get to that,
play against Maestro, which is a Hulk from another.
Which is also another Hulk. It's Hulk craziness.
It's Hulktastic.
It's Hulktastic. There you go. Now, what is your favorite kind of stretch goal that we've unlocked during these couple of days?
Oh, you covered mine. I mean, I like Red Hulk. I think that's kind of cool. I was excited to see him. Kid Loki. Kind of looks neat, he looks a different version of Loki. But Red Hulk, I like seeing what they're doing with some of these villains, because it's a main component of the game.
It is. It's the main style.
And he's an anti-hero, so anti-heroes are cool because you feel like you're getting two characters in one. So.
Now, the last time we did one of these updates, it doesn't technically count, but U.S. Agent is unlocked. I am also very thrilled to try him out as a villain as well, because last time he was locked. But now, a couple of days later, obviously, he has been unlocked. So I'm very excited to see him. But the main reason why all of this is going up is because of one expansion.
We feel. I think adding the promos helped, too.
The promos box
buying those up helped, but
also this box, which, wait a minute, if you rewind to the last couple of episodes, what did I say? I said... There will be a Civil War box.
Don't hurt yourself tooting your own horn there.
What else did I say? I said Kate Bishop. We haven't seen Kate Bishop.
We have a Civil War box.
We have a Civil War box.
We have a Civil War box.
We literally
$40. You're getting a Civil War box.
Yes.
That has
10 heroes,
bad guys in it.
Why is that? Guys.
Why is that?
No bad guys, because in the Civil War, as you all know, it's a team versus team kind of thing.
It's not blue team, gold team.
It's not blue team, gold team.
It's literally
PvP.
No villain in the game. You're playing one-on-one.
And
2 modes.
Yes.
There's 2 modes.
2 modes. And I just love it because obviously they do a live stream of it.
In the game.
Yes, there is one of the best sculpts in the game. They definitely upgraded some of the heroes as well. But let's just get into some of the little gameplay that I've seen. For example,
should we get into the heroes first, though?
Get into the heroes who's in.
People probably want to know that.
So, just a bit of the content of the box. We have 10 hero pieces, 6 color bases, obviously, 3 of them being red, the other 3 are being blue. 2 tracker cubes, those are going to be important for later. We also have 145 cards total, 20 mini cards, probably the equipment.
Let's get into who's in the box.
And so on and so forth.
Who is in the box?
Now, why is there 145 cards? Because there's 10 heroes. Who are they? Number 1, we have Wonder Man. Pretty interesting, Wonder Man. Mm-hmm. Then we have Spectrum.
Spectrum is, if you've watched the movie Captain Marvel, just for our listeners, Spectrum is the little girl, Monica Rambeau. She's
also in WandaVision, isn't she?
She's in WandaVision as her friend. She becomes Spectrum.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so her mother was Captain Marvel's original friend, and she's the little girl who grows up to become Spectrum.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Make that little connection there. Now we have a brand new Captain America. Now, the difference between Captain America that we know already in the box between this one is that the card says Captain America Classic.
Yes.
And we have Iron Man Classic. And they're all literally different. Different abilities and everything. There's even equipment cards for them specifically.
And maybe to backtrack a little bit, if it's okay, just to give the listeners a little bit of feedback. I ever saw the Civil War movie. This is kind of more based on what that movie was based on in the comics. Mm-hmm. So in the comic books, And in the movie, there's a Superhero Registration Act, so the governments of the world want the superheroes to give up their secret identities and all of that.
That's right.
Captain America feels like that's not right. They should have the ability to protect and act how they need to protect, and take care of things, and you got to trust the heroes. Iron Man's on the other side of that. He believes that that's fair, that there should be some responsibility so accidents don't keep happening.
So what's the best way to resolve something? You fight!
So they fight it out, baby. So that's why you've got Captain America, maybe one of the best sculpts. They've sculpted this mini in a way that Cap's on there, and the the shield is actually out of his hands, like flying in the air, the way they sculpted this thing.
It's kind of cool.
Kind of cool.
I love that. And, I mean, just such a cool minifigure. And also his abilities as well, when you take a look at them, they're very powerful.
Yeah.
And, well, you don't obviously just have Captain America. You have the other side of him as well. You have Iron Man with a whole new different sculpture. I like this Iron Man sculpture. I like the blast coming out of his hand, because as you know, on the other sculpture, he's kind of like in the water, and the water's blasting out of his base, and he's flying over
off. It's like he's got that blast coming out.
I like the original sculpt better than this one, but this one is still pretty cool. I do really I like it a lot. And Iron Man obviously has not one, not two, but 3 separate equipment cards, letting him be basically sneaking around the board.
Iron Man. He's Iron Man.
He is moving around the board. He can move being unseen, so he's taking his piece out of the game, and he's moving around and distributing, obviously like he does in the original Iron Man character, distributing more tokens to his teams and his abilities and equipment cards. So so he might not have the best Iron Man sculpture, but he is probably already a better Iron Man than what we already have.
Cool. Nothing stops you from using the other sculpt for this.
Oh no. Yeah, I'll probably switch.
And we've got Tigra. We've got Yellow Jacket, which is the Hank Pym version of Yellow Jacket. So Hank Pym has been Ant-Man. In the movies, he's the old Michael Douglas character. He also plays Giant Man. He becomes Giant Man in the comics, and he plays Yellow Jacket. Yellow Jacket's the bad guy in the
MCU.
In the MCU, he's a bad guy. It's not Hank Pym, but this is the Hank Pym version.
Which he's a good guy.
So he's a good guy here. And then we have
Kate Bishop.
I was right. The Hawkeye TV show.
Yes.
And then we have not a mini. We have a maxi. Goliath, baby.
Goliath
This thing is a giant. He is like the size of Giant Man in the Civil War movie.
Yes, I mean this guy. You could probably stack maybe 2.5 hero sculptures, and you got this guy, and he's just huge.
He is ridiculously huge.
I love it. I love.
They put a little kid Loki mini next to him, I think, or just regular Loki next to him, and just to give you an idea, that mini goes up to like his thigh.
Yes,
I mean he's as big as a Sentinel. Oh, it says he's almost as big as a Sentinel.
Almost as big as a Sentinel.
So we've got another giant table.
But he's a hero.
He's
a hero. I love that. Yeah. So obviously Goliath, he's going to be probably a big hitter, not maybe such a good mover. Maybe. I have no idea. He's huge.
Yeah, he's man. Increased size. So one of his cards, his power says, this card does not count as one of your 3 starting hand cards. You start the game with the total of 4 cards in your hand. So he can starts with 4, you go up to 5. So he has more cards.
That's so cool.
He's going to be interesting. But he's gigantic. He's a table presence kind of player. Comes with 6 more locations, too.
It does. Now, before we...
the bar with no names.
Before we go into some of the... gameplay of the new Civil War, new PvP mode, I just wanted to quickly just let you all know that this will be in retail. There is no exclusive Kickstarter logo with this expansion. I just wanted to make that clear to you all. But if you do get the Civil War, and you do get it with the Kickstarter and everything, you will get 2 additional heroes. Who are they? Well, the first exclusive hero that will come in the Civil War box is Iron Spider. I don't know if you guys remember the cool Iron Man type Spider-Man suit that he gives in Avengers Infinity War that Tom Holland Spider-Man's wears, which is pretty cool, right? It's got the cool little spider claws. They're gold, and it's just awesome. And basically, he's going to be one of the new characters. I love his miniature. It looks amazing.
It does.
Yeah.
I tell you, and I was the most excited seeing that was him. Was because in the comic books, that's what happens. Peter starts working for Tony Stark, and he makes him that suit. In Avengers, Infinity War, that's the suit he has that he gets put on with all the legs coming out of it and stuff. But I tell you, Hulkling is another one. That's part of this Kickstarter exclusive. He is some kind of combination of Kree, Skrull, and Captain Marvel. So they call him Hulkling, but what he actually does, and here's a cool thing. So he's a Skrull, right? The Skrulls can change and mimic.
That's right.
So his starting hand, he takes his starting hand card from a hero not being used in this game and places it next to his impersonating card. So he's an impersonating card, and he is allowed to pull this card and use it instead from any other character in the game. One of their starting card hands. Yeah, so this impersonating card reads, at the end of your turn, if there are no hero cards next to this card, you may choose the starting hand card of any hero not in play and place it next to this card. If you are KO'd, remove the hero card from the game. So basically, he can keep pulling starting hand cards every time he uses it. He can keep pulling them from other heroes not in the game.
That's pretty cool. I really do like that.
Yeah.
And just to let you know, again, these two characters only come in the box. If you get it at the campaign, they're not stretch goals, so it's not like you can't get them with the box
now to get these two characters.
To get the two characters, which I think totally you should.
Yeah.
Because obviously the way, obviously since this podcast is all about this, we need everything, and we get our money's worth with all these gaming and stuff.
This generated two more team decks.
It did.
We have Team Iron Man now. It's called Pro Registration Team, so it's a team deck you can play with. It comes with a lot of teams. A lot of folks not in the Civil War box are a part of that. Black Widow, Wasp, Bishop, Deadpool, Iron Man, Civil War versions, of course. Then Iron Spider, of course, and Mr. Fantastic, Songbird. So a lot there. And then, of course, we have the Team Captain America, the Secret Avengers. So you got all the folks from the Civil War box, but you Black Panther's in there. Storm's a part of it. Luke Cage, Falcon, Daredevil, Vision, Invisible Woman, Cloak, just to name a few. So a lot are coming in. And then, of course, some of these folks fill out some of the other teams. But what I thought was cool is there's two ways to play this.
Yeah.
And this expansion.
Let's go into them. The first mode, again, these are all PvP modes, basically. So, the first mode, we have the Registration Clash. The Registration Clash is a player versus player mode that closely recreates the dynamics and events surrounding the Civil War over the Superhuman Restriction Act, right? Like the act that you mentioned. Now, I'm just reading it off of here because I can't really describe it so well with my own words. Sorry about that laughing. I got distracted there for a second. Anyway, look, sorry I laughed. Can you give us a description of the expansion? I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, the registration mode is... so basically, each team, if you play in this mode, is trying to follow the events of that Civil War. So each team has a set of objectives that they've got to do. So the first team to finish their objectives win. So it might be, saving certain things or doing certain threat cards, but whatever it is, or maybe beating up a hero from the other team, that's kind of how that plays out. So it's a little more around these events and cards and what happens when you do them in a certain order. So that's kind of how that is. Versus the other mode is just a straight up battle royale, run around and beat each other.
That really is.
And I believe score points. Like, if you save and do heroics, you get points.
If you defeat thugs and rescue civilians, you'll get 1 point. If you KO another hero, you get 4 points.
So running around and beating the snot out of those pesky upstart Captain America Secret Avengers with your Iron Man team gets you more points.
That is pretty cool. And if you want a quick gameplay of it, you can also check out the Quackalope, which I saw with the designer of the game, a couple of designers and the heads of CMON. And it was really interesting looking at the gameplay. It just looked fun and intense. Truly, obviously the blue team versus gold team is a lot different from this one, but I feel like this one is going to get a lot more play just because this feels like a true, I'm going to battle. It's
definitely PvP, like, direct.
Yeah.
I like blue team, gold team, though. It's kind of cool. You're trying to play each other, and every time we've played that has been, like, down to the last turn kind of a thing. We've done that tiebreaker so many times.
We have.
But this, you're right, this is just more head-to-head going at each other. Yes. No villain on the map to contend with. You're just running around with each other. So, just, again, another great way to play the game. They just keep coming up with these. This, to me, this campaign feels more like a gameplay campaign, not just a content, not just more characters. Yeah. And I know, in the past, more characters had a little bit different. X-Men brought the blue team, gold team, and it brought the I'm drawing a blank. The giant robots that can't hunt the X-Men down.
Sentinels.
The Sentinels, or it could carry the characters around. It brought all that, but this has just added more modes of play. I mean, it's been fantastic. But I do have to say, I got an update for you if you want it.
Yep.
Little old news-timey update. So we have officially unlocked the Red Hulk at 1,850,000. We won't have to wait long, though. At just 20 grand more is a new team deck's coming.
Yes.
The Young Avengers. So it's kind of a way to pull in some of these new characters that didn't have a team before. So you got Iron Lad, Patriot, Speed, Kid Loki, Wiccan, Hulkling, and Kate Bishop, all from this campaign, and then American Chavez from the original box.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's going to be a part of the Young Avengers team deck.
That's so cool.
So we did get that up there. Again, it's only 20 grand.
We should get that today.
We should be getting that sometime today, would be my guess.
That's pretty cool. Again, more team decks. They're really pushing forward to it, and they really want to expand that team decks. It's going to be pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, it's so far. Let me ask you this: so far, of all the new gameplay changes, what's your favorite?
Probably the Civil War, because I did like blue team, gold team. But at the same time, I feel like the villain, right? Because you're trying to defeat the villain who could do it the fastest, basically. And at the same, it's good, but at the same time, it kind of takes the fun out of, trying to KO the other heroes. I mean, you can't. It's part of the rules. You can't KO the other hero.
But you can in this version.
But in this version, it feels more like, okay, I gotta really put out a good team. I gotta survive. I gotta take damage for others and things like that. And, it's just fantastic. I truly love it.
I mean, so to recap, you've got Civil War mode, you've got solo mode that they've added this time, you've got team decks, you've got character decks, and some of the villain stuff's been crazy this time.
The team, the solo mode I like, but I don't really play it that way. I play the solo mode with actual separate heroes and actual separate
multiple
decks.
Players at once. Yeah,
I'm playing it like that on
try
purpose.
A different mode is all
but
I'm getting.
That is true. Basically, you're putting a team together in one deck. That's basically what you're doing. So that's going to be very interesting, though, and I can't wait. But truly, the Civil War is going to be really cool, and it's just, man, there's going to be a lot to talk about now, going in depth with all these things and equipments. I mean, now setup is going to be a little bit more. A little bit more time, a little bit more involved. Now you're going to probably have to take out a couple of extra boxes for the equipments.
But you just got more depth in the game now.
But now you have more depth. It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying
you're right.
There's a little bit more, and that's okay.
I wonder
for
how
this
they'll have
simple
these
game.
Decks. It'd be nice to have some kind of organizer with the decks and the equipment cards and the team decks where you just go pop out what you want.
Another prediction, because I don't know what else you can do for CMON in this game. You can obviously do more gameplay, more rules, and things like that. But just content-wise, I don't know what else. I mean, we're running out of ideas, or we're running out of heroes and anti-villains. Obviously, this season, there'll be a lot more to unlock. Not saying that there won't be, but I just feel like, hey, could you give us a big box? I don't care how big it is. I don't care if it's a Frosthaven type big box. I just want something to at least hold most of my stuff together.
Though, we haven't gotten to the Secret Wars. There could be a Kang box with all the different versions of Kang. Mm-hmm. I think there's so much to unlock here. It's be crazy. I wonder if this is not the last campaign of United, though.
True. I mean, if you...
I don't know that, but, where else can they go?
Yeah. Right? Because, you got the multiverses, you got the X-Men, you got the original stuff. But that's everything, basically.
Secret Wars will be big. That's got to be a part of this. I bet next Friday is big. Mm-hmm. To do another big next Friday video, I bet they announce Secret Wars, because that's going to be coming up in the next movies.
And a quick thing before we go, I was just wondering, because right now in the campaign, three new expansions have been released. A quick kind of four. Excuse me. We got the Coming of Galactus, right? We have Coming of Galactus. We have the new Silver War, which we talked about today, War of Kings, and the Age of Apocalypse. Which was your favorite out of the four?
Civil War, so far, is my favorite. The Galactus thing looks cool, and it's amazing, but the Civil War, I just was so excited when I saw that.
Same thing here. I just love the art of the Civil War as well. It's it's awesome.
And another thing on the Civil War we didn't mention, you actually have your own timeline. Like, each team does their own timeline. I think that's the first time we've seen that. Is Blue Team, Gold Team do two timelines? I don't know. You
have your own timeline.
Okay, so it is. So that's not the first time then. Okay.
But still, it's a different way of doing it. Somebody starts on this side, and opposite of where the Blue Team goes or starts their storyline on the opposite side, that's where the Red Team starts their storyline. It's pretty cool. So, it's going to be just interesting. It's just going to be very interesting. I can't wait to play it. And again, this is not exclusive except for the two heroes. So if you wait on retail, you will not get Iron Spider. Right. You will not get Hulkling. If you get it on the Kickstarter, you will get those two. But that's pretty cool that it's not going to be... That's still going to be on retail for those who missed the Kickstarter. You can still be able to get this box.
And on top of all of this, the Spider-Verse box comes out.
Yeah, the Spider-Geddon.
This summer. So
man, that's going to be very fun. I wonder when the Civil War will be in retail. We could probably... It's going
to have to be after the Kickstarter. I would say sometime late next year.
Oh, yeah.
Would be my guess.
Probably.
So, pretty cool.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, a lot to talk about. We talked about a whole lot today. This episode was probably the longest one we did of the updates.
Well, we wanted to give the content we've missed the last few days. We'll be back on dailies and probably shorter bite-sized episodes, right?
Depending on what's released. Obviously, we get excited on most of the updates and on the expansions like we did today or in the last couple of days. But we will definitely be doing this in a continuation, so it's not, we don't smush everything together. We can take our time and talk about everything. But we talked about everything for today, so let's see what happens tomorrow in the afternoon, and we will give you another update on what happens. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. We hope you have a fantastic day, and remember, we encourage you all to go into this campaign, at least get the core box, or at least support this Kickstarter so we can get more stretch goals and we can talk about some more stuff.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. If you plan on it. If you plan on it. We understand
you don't have
what's going on in the world right now, and obviously these are definitely purchases that are, discretionary, right? They're for fun, and what we're saying is, if you plan on buying it, if you think you're going to get it, let's make sure, maybe think about just pledging what you want to do early, and let's drive those prices up. Just gives us more to talk about. Is it necessary? No. We know the last 2 days, whenever they announce the all-in pledge, this thing's going to explode. It's going to be amazing. But, it's just fun content.
It is.
We just enjoy it.
It is, and it's going to be very great. And again, if you do plan on getting the Kickstarter, getting in this campaign, Just remember, you will have lots of content to play with. Even if you don't even add any of the add-on stuff, I believe does the Galactus thing. Yeah, basically, if you want to, you could get the $100 if you'd like. You can get the Galactus with their heroes and villains, and then you can get your own core box, plus the Wrecking Crew as well. So I'm telling you, just with those 2 boxes, you will have like more than 30 games to play, maybe even more than that. You could probably play 40 games and not get bored, because there's just so much to play with, so many cool combinations and things like that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we encourage you, if you want to, get it. If not, well, that's okay. Anyway, we hope you have a fantastic day. I know I said that again, but for real this time. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.